LORNMOR, welcome back. Today up on the chopping block is track 3 off of the attic, a little song called Bleed. Bleed is a series of verses divided into 3 distinct musical sections. It has no discernible chorus. It has no discernible chorus as far as I can tell. I quite like writing not in the typical verse, chorus, bridge, chorus format. It feels kind of spicy. I'm sure there's more jargony musical terms to be used here, but I don't know what they are, and I'm sure you get the point. It's been over 1.5 years since I wrote this song, so I don't remember exactly what I had in mind when I was writing these lyrics. It seems, though, that the first set of verses describe my introverted tendencies. The middle section sees my extroverted... It's so windy. The middle section sees my extroverted side poking through and some self-doubts creeping in. The outro closes the loop, and I am back to being reminded that I am indeed an introvert and I like being alone. So what follows is a retrospective and therefore largely speculative analysis about the lyrics of this song. I might be totally wrong and you might totally disagree, but let's get into it.
Stay in bed, it's a safer bet.
I'll start off by saying that I do get sick more than I would like to, so sometimes it's better and safer just to stay home and avoid people, something I generally don't mind doing. That's what this line made me think of.
It's how you end when they won't bend.
I was in the last year of my undergrad when I wrote this song. I was getting fed up with group projects. I always felt like I was putting in more work than my peers. Most of them were super inefficient communicators, so that really frustrated me. I don't like working up until the 11:59 p.m. deadline day of, but unfortunately for me, that's how most undergrad students operate. So I definitely preferred to work alone rather than bending to other people's schedules, per this line.
So bleed instead, it's a safer bet. They're out to get a taste of red.
I don't like making small talk. I don't want to prod people with questions until I find something interesting to talk about. I love hanging out with my friends, and I'm happy to exchange pleasantries with clients and strangers. I'd much rather pick up a goddamn hammer and get to work than have a 10-minute conversation with a stranger. That's that. The analogy here being that people sometimes see me as blood in the water of chat, and I'm not interested.
Warming up to feeling cold. Letting all the frost eat my soul.
I have no idea what these words mean. Maybe it's something along the lines of a weird fantasy where I lock myself inside and completely isolate myself from the world to the point where things get really dark and sad and therefore cold.
Stop!
I at least decided to learn the harmonica. The vibe of this section of the song, though, might be my favorite in the whole album. It always hits just right.
We were hoping to say hi to Lou.
These lines are from the perspective of some family and friends in Kitchener that I moved away from when I came here. Not here exactly, because this is Greenwood Park. I don't live in this park, but I live nearby in Toronto. It makes me reflect on a few friendships that I've kind of lost as a consequence of moving and time going by and becoming an adult. Lou is Lucia in this line.
Maybe think of us well. Do you?
We're back to me here, where I'm asking the folks that I've lost touch with if they think of me at all. Is it my responsibility to maintain our friendship? Is it yours? It's just always like, it's kind of weird to me how that works. Like, you become an adult. How's there another plane? You become an adult, time goes by, you'll just lose touch with people that you were once really good friends with. It doesn't quite sit right with me. I guess there are a few friendships that are just kind of dying embers that I would like to blow some oxygen onto and pop a log on top of.
Yes.
The voices of the people of my past return in this line, perhaps accompanied by those that are still close to me. I think in writing, yes, we do care about you, at the climax of this song, I'm kind of trying to reassure myself that I'm valued and loved and that people do think of me. Maybe I have some stuff I have to work on there.
Where are they now? Just make a sound. Your sweaty brow won't let them in. Where is your ground that lends you found? Will be the only one
This bit I do remember writing as a reminder to stay true to my own beliefs. I tend to let the opinions and even the nonchalant, like throwaway statements of others to sway my own opinions and actions quite a lot. This is something that I've worked on in recent years. Making this album has definitely helped with that. Okay, it's time to move on to the Logic file. I haven't opened the file in like a year, so I want to go in totally blind and we'll explore this one together. Okay. Here it is. Drums, just one kit, just one track for the bass there. All of these are going to be our rhythm guitars. All of these are going to be our lead guitars. There's a lot of them, not entirely sure why. A lot of vocals. All of these are just for one line. All of these are just for the outro. So that's why there's so many tracks. Okay.
Stay in bed, it's a safer bet.
Okay, so starting off just with the two guitars and the vocals. Guitars are my Strat, that guy right there, Fender Stratocaster. So just DI guitar, a little bit of overdrive on there, a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression. Yeah, I went with a lot of like pretty dry sounding DI guitars in this album. I think in the future I'd like to mess with tones a little bit more, but here we are. Yeah, I actually don't think those sound too bad. They are kind of smooth. Intro vocals.
Stay in bed, it's a safer bet.
Okay, so we've got these little guys coming in to join me. One's pitched up
way high
and one's pitched down way low. One's up an octave, you see by the plus 12 there, and one's down an octave, minus 12.
When they won't bend.
Alright, bunch of stuff comes in here. Let's start out with the drums. Let's see how those are sounding. Interesting, I didn't actually know I had that little wood block going with the snare there. I totally forgotten about that. These two guys, which are borrowed from the Snow Day kit. Same kick, same snare, same hat, and same ride. Yeah, the doo-doo-doo. I like to add a little bit of reverb and a little bit of drive on the snare, just gives it a little bit of bite. Okay, bass. Looks pretty much exactly the same as the last song, Snow Day. Basically the same EQ, same silly sidechain that I didn't know how to use. A soft distortion on the compression. Yeah, that sounds really nice to me. Interesting, I didn't pan it right in the middle. I panned it -5 for the bass, for whatever reason. The rhythm guitars are there, they're doing their thing. Then we got all the leads. Let's sort this out. So first of all, we have these guys. Look at that EQ, what a silly shape. I don't think any EQ should ever really be shaped like that. It looks so goofy. The ears don't lie, even the amateur ears. It sounds alright. Well, what's it sound like without that? That's always the question. Terrible. It's because the recording was awful, that's why it's so fucked. Where we're at there was where I had it in the original demo. Here, let's play the demo.
So bleed instead, it's a safer bet.
That guitar part was in there and it just didn't quite feel like it was enough. So what I added was this. Nice, so we got some delay automation there. The delay time, that's where you're gonna hear how it gets shorter. The echoes essentially get shorter. And that's the fun little sound effect you hear. Love it. Now, what are those noises? Let's find out. So it's just these triplets, but chopped up. with different pitch variations on them. +9, +21, just to get the notes I desired. There's just a little bit of space that needs filling there, so that space is filled by this mess. So again, that's the same thing. That's just a note from these triplets up here, the main triplets. Took this one note, and I just made the delay go crazy, so it's an infinite echo off of that first note. Bounced that so that the delay was caked in there, and then we're left with this. And then we took the pitch shifter, which changes the pitch of it, and added a bunch of automation stuff just to make it all funky. And there we are. That's what the main intro sounds like. I made that noise a little bit louder in the verse. Okay, now the vocals. I do a move I commonly did throughout the attic here.
So bleed instead.
And that's double the main vocals, so the main vocals have 2 takes on top of each other.
They're out to get.
Irons out my bad singing a little bit. I recorded other ones a little bit higher, so I took the whole project,
pitched it up a little bit, and then sang at that higher pitch.
and then I took that recording and made it
Even higher.
so that it's a whole octave higher than the original vocals.
So bleed instead. It's a safer bet.
They're out to get.
That just gives a nice little effect that I like very much, and I did that throughout the album, so we'll hear that multiple times.
Warming up to feeling cold.
So these little lead guitar guys pop in at this part, and you can see the first 2 notes of each sequence are in this one, and then there's like kind of an exclamation point on the bottom here, and that's because there's an extra little delay or echo at the end. So let's hear that. Love that part. I love the way the bass sits there. That note, just that little bit of fuzzy, soft distortion from the compressor here really, really works well. And then we get a second guitar for this bit.
We were hoping to say
These guys come back.
Hi.
And then these guys. When I made this project, I had no clue what the hell mastering was. I just understood that you had to make things loud and try and make them as loud as other things in your genre. So that's what I did. I did it in a way that is not industry standard, to say the least, and I have since learned is not the best way. I literally threw this adaptive limiter on it, which just chops kind of the top off of things. That's what a limiter does, and just threw everything in the mix up against it. Usually when you master, you bounce the whole song so it's in one file, you send it off, and then you take that file and then you work with that file. I was just doing it straight off the Logic file, just into this limiter, so we definitely get some distortion here on the whole thing.
to you.
So everything gets a little bit fuzzy, but it's a lo-fi album, whatever. But I just love the way these 2 guitars come in there. So that's what's going on there. Let's see, let's pop down here.
Think of us, well, do you? Yes, we do.
Yes, we've got 2 regular pitch ones
Yes.
there, a lower one, a higher one.
We do.
we just get one guitar doing its thing and one vocal. And the vocal,
Where are they now? Just make a sound.
this vocal has some tape delay and reverb and stuff on it, but also has this really cool plugin from Isotope called Vinyl. It's a free plugin. Thank you, Jacob, for turning me on to it. I tell you, I can't get away from him. Just makes it sound like an old record.
Are they now?
Once that's done, we get 8 vocal tracks total.
Let them in. Where is your ground? That lens you found will be the only one you.
That one's my favorite. So yeah, the outro vocals are just kind of a mess, and then you hear me say at the end,
Lucia, you need it.
Lucia, you need it. That's my cat. I was talking to her. She was in the room. We just kind of got this lead guitar over top of that, just tooting around.
The only one you need it. Lucia, you need it.
So there you go. I could go around saying, I've got 113 tracks, mate. I'm fucking sick. That's what this music's all about. You need 113 fucking tracks. But as you can see down here, it says 113, but a lot of them are just all my takes. Let's hear what they all sound like together.
Think of us well.
No clue what the fuck that is. Okay, let's get out of there. That's scary. Okay, congratulations. You've made it to the end of another video, another LORNMOR. Please give this song a listen if you haven't. Please give this album a listen. I'd really appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. LORNMOR. All of a sudden, time goes, it's really good front that you were